Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for the Payday 3 dev blog breakdown, where we're talking about everything in the 13th dev blog. This is breaking down the progression system overhaul that's coming in update 7 for Payday 3 in the next couple of weeks. There's also going to be a section towards the end where we have a bit of a tease that Dragan could well be coming back to Payday 3. I was going to make a video for this on its own, but I figured it was just worth lumping into this one as one big news roundup for the week. But before we get into it, a couple of things I want to clarify. First off, I'm recording this on Thursday, not Friday. Thank you very much to Starbreeze. I reached out to them and told them I was going to be busy all day Friday and asked if there was any chance I could get access to the blog early. They obliged and they gave me just a big wall of text. So what I've done is spent the last half an hour using Inspect Element to put it into here to look like it would tomorrow. I've come up with the name there. There may be a couple of wording differences, so if this does look any different at all to the actual blog, that's why I want to clarify, but they have finalised the wording, so it should all be exactly the same, fingers crossed. On top of that, I haven't mentioned it until now, however, I just think it's worth mentioning very quickly that if you are at MCM London Comic Con next week, really should have mentioned this sooner, but I'm going to be at London Comic Con on the Friday as a creator. If you want to say hi, I'm there, come up, get a photo, or tell me you don't like my videos. It'd be nice if you do it, but either way, I'm around if you want to say hi. However, let's do it. Let's break down the dev block. So, today they are talking, as I said, about the progression system overhaul, and it goes into a bit of detail about how it's going to work. And honestly, it's really well explained and makes me quite excited for this overhaul, because this is what I was talking about when I said I want Payday 3's updates to do things that will bring me back into the game, someone who's taken time away from it, and I think this might just do it. So, they give a bit of an explanation as to why they're changing the system, and it's very much just eating a big case of humble pie, because they're saying, you know, they tried something different, and it didn't work. But here's how it's going to work. With the new progression system, you will gain infamy points based on how many bags you secure, as well as the quality of said bags and loot that you abscond with. So for example, if you clean the jewellery on Dirty Ice, that bag of loot will give you more IP than if you just grab and go. So it'll incentivize completing the additional objectives and taking a little more time to get higher quality bags. So you'll now get infamy points per bag rather than just an extra few for getting all of them. So depending on how many you secure, you'll get certain amounts more for leveling up. So it's a proper experience system, still just called infamy points, but same difference. Only thing I couldn't amend here when I was making the web page or changing the HTML was the screenshots. I'm not going to sit here and figure out how to put those in. So I have left a blank page here for me to put these images over the top. So, these are screenshots of Dirty Ice on very hard difficulty, securing just 6 bags. So not all of them, just 6. And you can see the difference here if I use my mouse to point it out. I'm trying to do this through OBS. I'm really putting so much effort in here. But you can see that you've got a 50 infamy point completion in the previous system and 375 infamy points in the new one. A much bigger payout per heist, and you can see there's a fatter stealth payout. There's also a loud option, we'll get to that in a minute, and there's still a reward for getting all bags. So even though you now get infamy points per bag, you'll still get some extra if you do secure all of them. So there is still that motivation to get everything, but you're not penalised so much now if you don't secure them all, or really much at all. I think it's a really good way to do it, and the infamy point rewards look quite good. You can pretty much get from that maybe about a fifth of a progression level when you're at max level, because it's 2,000 infamy points once you get past 150 to keep getting your renown levels. It looks like the numbering's pretty good. Of course, it will vary between heists, and they don't go into detail on the offerings for each heist, but we'll see. And as they've put in this post, that will take some experimentation and some feedback from players. So let's go back over here. Hi, these pictures. And carry on. Since IP payouts will directly scale with how many bags you manage to steal, heists such as Cook-Off will be even more lucrative, since now you won't have to steal every bag for the bulk of the bonuses. Let's talk about stealth and loud, because they're the important things. There's something about all bags here, we'll talk about that in a minute, but let's look at the stealth and loud bits, because they're important. So, they are keeping the stealth bonus that gives you additional IP for successfully escaping without raising the alarm. They feel that players enjoy striving towards mastering the execution of a heist, and Payday has always been about mastery. You will still get that big stealth reward if you finish the heist without the alarm going off. But you'll get a bit of compensatory IP points rather than nothing at all if the heist goes loud. If you have completed at least one assault wave or have reached the final charge when you escape, either or. So you will get some infamy points. Not specified how many, but the very clear indication here is it's not as many as completing the heist in stealth, because stealth requires that mastery, whereas loud is just, can you survive till the end? And as we've talked about previously with Payday 3's mechanics, it's basically, can you get out the heist as fast as possible? Most people can do that a lot easier compared to doing heists in stealth, so it would make sense the loud payout would be weaker. It does say though that some heists are much easier and faster in stealth compared to loud, so this bonus acts as an option for you to play the way you prefer and not feel like you're shoehorned into any particular playstyle. The hope is you can progress and grow your overall level without having to compromise where you personally get the most fun. All makes sense, all sounds good to me. And then as I said about the all bags payout, if mastery is a core part of the power fantasy of Payday, it would be insane not to incentivize going for the big score. So you still get that bonus, as it says, for getting all bags. Now, balance is something they also address here, because as part of the update, they've recalculated the payouts for completing the heists. They've aimed to counteract the removal of the challenge system, because the challenges are just gone. As I said, really wish they hadn't been. I would have just kept them in cosmetically, even with no rewards, just because removing things is something Payday doesn't need to be doing right now at Payday 3, but either way, missing the forest for the trees here, the progression system far outweighs the challenges being removed. But since this is the first iteration of the new system, they love saying first iteration of things, they expect they'll have to make adjustments here and there, so do let them know if you think things seem too easy or too hard. There will be optimal heists and progression grinds that the community will find, they're sure of that. They're not going to fiddle with it too much, but if it does feel like one or two heists in particular are much easier to get infamy points on, they will balance to accommodate it. But then they do say at the end, if they're wondering what's next for the progression system and IP payouts, we do have plans for later in the year to add some hardcore challenges along the same lines as the cook-off challenge. If you don't know, this was completing cook-off on overkill, having secured all 17 bags. The reward was terrible. It was a tiny little meth weapon charm. I really don't know why that was all you got, but the point being that was a hardcore challenge, so things of that ilk, basically. These challenges will reward either infamy points, C-stacks, or even cosmetics when completing a difficult challenge, but it will be a while off yet. They'll revisit that topic once they've got a couple more things in the bag, so you're not looking at that for summer. I think that's something for autumn/winter at the earliest. But they then confirm that next week they'll be looking at the new Assassin skill line in dev blog number 14. That's everything in the blog. As I said, I really like this. I think the progression system overhaul looks pretty damn good. I'm really intrigued to see it in execution and see what people think, and most interested to see if there does end up being a meta, if there ends up being something people really do hone in on, because no doubt there will be. People found the bathroom strategy when the game first came out. People will find which heist is the easiest to beat for infamy points. But as I've said, that's not the only thing I want to talk about today. There is also this Instagram post, and I'm going to have to switch my camera window, so I'm reflected now, where hey, just so you can read this a little bit better. This is a post on Dragamir's Instagram page. I don't know how to say his surname, so I'm not going to risk butchering it, but this is the guy who plays the face and voice of Dragan in Payday 2. Perhaps not the face if he comes back, because that fits the general pattern that they're following at the minute. However, he just posted on Instagram 6 hours ago at the time of recording, by the time you see this, yesterday. He posted, "Today was a great day, did some work for my fellow gamers. Dragan is on his way, and there is nothing that can stop him now. I'll keep you posted." With the hashtag Payday 3 comfortably in there, so it sounds to me as though bro may have just accidentally leaked his own return. Possibly. This adds to the pile of heisters returning alongside Clover, who was teased a few months ago. Not much has been said since, but I still think that she's on the horizon, so it sounds like we may get 2 returning heisters at some point soon. No guarantees as to when this will be, although it would have been really good for Dragan as a character to come back for Boys in Blue. He definitely isn't going to do that. I think it would be too much too soon. But purely because in his introduction trailer he was a crooked police officer, it would be really cool for him to come in with Boys in Blue. It would be poetic. Either way, sounds like Dragan is coming back, and he's a pretty popular character. There is a chance, I should say, that he might just be recording another video promotional thing like Do Time to Get Time, which was the competition last year where someone could go to a Swedish prison, play Payday 3 early. It's possible it could be something like that again, but I just think with the wording, Dragan is on his way, I think that means the character's coming back, because he never really referred to himself as Dragan in that Do Time to Get Time video. It was just, hey, look, it's Dragamir being funny in front of a camera and going, fresh fish. I honestly think this is more, but I'll be intrigued to know what you all think in the comments section below. But either way, thank you all very much for watching this video. As always, thank you again to Starbreeze for sending me the dev blog early. I really appreciate it. It really does make it easier for me to get this content out. Do leave your comments down below. I may be a bit slower replying to them today since I'm not around, but I will reply to them as soon as I see them. So thank you all very much for watching. As per usual, I will see you all with some more videos next week. Until then, look after yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good weekend.